I've now opened a different door, adultery and all of that didn't exist while we were dating.
Is he like so evil and hidden that he is like a mastermind? He said such hurtful things. How can he not actively try to be this way?
When I've gone to indifference to I'm done with you, that's when I was like, oh, bleep.
Did you feel annoyance or something else when I cried?
Welcome to the Couple Cure. Here's Jay and Lori Pyatt.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Couple Cure. I'm Jay.
And I'm Lori. And next video, I will be asking him, could you see your heart harden over time? But in this video, we're going to be covering 12 questions specifically about what was going on within him when he saw me crying. Before we start, I just want to say that we're going to try a different editing style. Up till now, we have been editing more naturally, trying to make things flow, but they've turned out to be really long videos. So we're going to try the more choppy style. You might see us go from here to here on the blink of an eye. So tell us in the comments below if you like the choppy style that are shorter or the longer, more natural versions. All right. But the first question for Jay is, what was the very first time you saw me crying over your betrayal? And what did you feel in your body?
Very first time. It would have had to have been in Oklahoma before we went to the first therapist.
Mm-hmm.
I know I felt sad. I know I felt guilt, shame, those things. Helpless, that I couldn't undo it. I couldn't take it away. But it's been 28 years.
I'm thinking even more than that.
29.
And the first time I remember specifically was when we were dating. We were in your apartment, and I just remember going, I just don't think this is going to work out. And your cat, Logan, had jumped up. I was sitting on the countertop, and I had my hand down on the countertop, and he jumped up and freaked out and scraped his claws across my hand. And if you look really closely, you can still see them, but they're pretty much gone. When I looked down, I was like, of course this would happen. And then I felt in my spirit, by his stripes, we are healed. And I thought, okay, let me have hope in God, instead of necessarily this relationship or will he, won't he in the future. Still on that number one, what did you feel in your body? Or did it hit inside of you, that sort of thing?
I think I felt it in my gut then of, I don't know what to do. I just feel powerless, feel like at the time, I know then I didn't have any tools to make anything better.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that added to the sense of being hopeless, being kind of disconnected from the situation.
Okay.
Unable to make a change.
Mm-hmm.
And not being able to tell you then, like, here's my plan for dealing with my addiction and dealing with all the stuff that I don't know how to deal with. I didn't have a clue. So,
what do you feel in your body now after you learned, I do know what to do? Still, even a little bit recently, it's like we'll do okay, and then we'll not have an argument or a tiff or anything for a while. And then it's like I can sense maybe stuff from his childhood comes up or he forgets the steps. So in those moments when you felt shame or like you wanted to lash out because I was upset over something, where did you feel that? I always thought shame kind of made me want to do this. And then guilt, I feel almost brokenhearted. But that kind of is a face thing too. But that's just me. It could be completely different for you.
Yeah, I have that impulsive reaction that kind of learned, here's the first thing you want to do. And you're right, when we don't practice it, it's much more that natural response because I'm not practicing this different response. It's like everything in me wants to go right, but I need to go left. Sometimes there's a little bit of hesitation. Sometimes I get too far to the old behavior before I remember there's a new way I can do this.
And just to be clear, if he were to do that now, I would know exactly what to do. I was like, nope, I have better things to do than have an old us argument. So, we'll stay in separate areas of the house for some time. And yeah, I'm just not going back to that. So when you have felt that, like there was a time I stood up for my little sister in a way that I saw red when it happened. And I was so angry at this person that had done something to her that I felt it like in my chest and I just wanted to go after them, Is that?
No, because I'm not angry with you that you're hurt. What I do feel like is this pull to save something. I'm not exactly sure if it's my reputation,
Your image.
if it could be my image and my ego get all mixed up in there. But I think a lot of it is trying to save this perception of like, if you understood my intentions or if you understood some of the other stuff, you wouldn't be so upset. We've had that back in season 4. We had some of those conversations with Matt Frey about, well, if you just understood this, you wouldn't be upset, which is an invalidation. But again, there's that part of me that doesn't want you to be upset. Instead of trying to learn how to fix it well, I just wanted you to not be upset.
Yeah.
So I think my urge is to try to get you to not be upset, not like I'm angry with you or anything like that.
He said something about he wanted to focus on the intention. Guys understand that emotional maturity is focusing on the impact, not the intention. So that's one to kind of tuck away. Get past but I didn't mean it, and focus on the fact that something happened that has upset your wife. Focus on that and focus on the impact on her, not what you feel like it means about you. Because you're probably a harsher critic on you. You probably think her saying you did something bad means you're bad. But if she thought you were that bad, she would be gone. Right. So just focus on the impact instead of the intention.
Right. And the guys, just real quick, the way I say that is if you're backing out of the driveway and you run over your neighbor's dog, you didn't get up that morning thinking, I'm going to run over the neighbor's dog. It happened. Your intention is irrelevant to the damage that's been done. And so now you have to address the damage that's been done regardless of what your intention was. And this is certainly a different situation than that, but I'm trying to put it in a little bit different context.
Yeah, I like that because if you were to back over somebody's car and then you have these children there that grew up with that dog and, now the dog's hurt and they're crying, you wouldn't be able to say, well, I didn't mean to, and then go, oh, okay, well, everything's fine then. No, there's damage that was done to something important to them. They hurt now. Their animal is hurt now. So I don't know. I do like that visual. Number 2, can you ever remember feeling bad for me, not for you, not for your image, that sort of thing? So can you ever remember feeling bad for me when my pain was coming out? Because I remember one time specifically, it was very early on after we got married.
I think that's always been there, but that might be some type of like glossing over reality. Was it after that movie that we watched that I felt that?
I have no idea what led to it. Okay. You mean the specific thing? I want you to answer first. I'm not going to help you out here.
I remember us crying together pretty hard after watching a movie that we kind of went to this place of me really having a misunderstanding of who you were and that kind of thing.
What terms came out when we talked about it afterwards? What movie was it? Do you remember?
Yeah, it was Beyond Rangoon.
You remember the movie very much. But what terms came out afterwards when we were talking?
We talked about, instead of teaching me English. It was teaching me accounting. It was teaching me English, something like that.
Yes. Then I want I want to teach you accounting, not math. And I've been trying to teach you math.
Oh, okay. So yeah,
I got it. I got it that you felt bad.
yeah,
And the unfortunate thing was that faded fairly quickly after that.
really.
Yeah. I remember bringing it up going, I thought you were supposed to teach me accounting. But I mean, I've seen it since then and I've seen more of a brokenness in you. But that was one of the only times I felt you leaning toward me.
Really?
It was like one of the only times that I can remember you came up with it on your own.
Huh.
Otherwise, it was like, kind of me coming after him and going like, I need you to see this. I need you to see this. And you kind of wake up, oh, yeah, I guess I do.
Yeah.
So
Damaged empathy would be the only thing I could think of that, as I progressed in addiction, that my empathy and all of that got kind of turned off. But that would be hardness of heart. I mean, if I'm going to lie to you, I've got to harden my heart to some degree.
mm-hmm.
And if I'm doing that, I'm not paying attention to other stuff.
Still on question number 2, what did you feel in your body that moment that you were, because I remember I had stayed home from work and was like on the couch, and that's where you said, you've been wanting me to teach you accounting and I've been trying to teach you math. And I was like, oh, okay, he gets it. He gets that there's a difference in how we see love and how we see faithfulness or loyalty and not pursuing others, that sort of thing.
I think in that moment, it was very much out of my heart. A lot of defenses down in that moment. For me, movies can move me emotionally in a certain direction, and that movie had done that, and then we had this conversation on top of it. I was kind of very vulnerable and open, I think, and was able to more fully move from my heart than probably I had my whole life at that point.
We should have gotten that on DVD and played it once every 6 months or something. So you felt it from the heart is what you were saying.
Yeah.
Huh, interesting. Okay, question number 3. Can you look back and pinpoint when my crying stopped affecting you the same way? And I have a theory on this.
I don't know exactly when. I would say before 2000, somewhere in all those breakdowns we had, I think, yes, your crying caused what it typically causes for most guys, which is, I don't know what to do in this moment.
Mm-hmm.
But the part of me opening my heart and moving toward you shut down somewhere in there. I didn't know how to access it again, or, all the secret sauce of whatever that movie opened me up to.
My theory is I don't remember that happening after the 6-month mark. And after we were married 6 months, somewhere in there, they basically put me on Prozac and I numbed out. And that carried us for the next couple years about. And somewhere in there, I had found porn on his computer and I still was kind of numb. The fact that he went back to it after having gotten some freedom, Jay mentioned damaged empathy. I'm wondering if it wasn't the 7 demons worse than the first. Because I do feel like you got some freedom from it.
Right.
Maybe. I mean, I know you were using when we were dating, which gave me a lot of pause. And then I think it went away for a bit, somewhere in there. But it was at the 6-month mark when I started being better at home, according to a lot of men's definition of what a good wife is. I, wasn't bringing this up anymore, and I was non-emotional at home because I was just deadened. And that's when you started looking for other women at work.
Yeah.
Which I found interesting.
I don't know how all of them correlate. I do know that, part of the conversation we had before we got married was that somehow marriage would fix something. 6 months of being married, I wasn't fixed. And so I went back to what felt, normal for me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it was because you were deadened or whatever, but the 7 demons thing makes sense that within the boundaries of marriage, I've now opened a different door, deception and adultery and all of that didn't exist while we were dating.
Yeah. Number 4, did you feel relief, guilt, annoyance, or something else when I cried?
Guilt, fear, what happens now? Where do we go from here? A lot of uncertainty.
I don't think I ever saw relief on your face. I think I thought you have to be starting to get annoyed, but I never really saw that. I think I did see the alarm, the almost panic.
Right.
It didn't set you off to go, okay, now we're fighting. You really didn't express like that you were annoyed, just afraid. Number 6, did my tears ever make you feel powerful?
No. With my own history of kind of being the crybaby and being the person who, kids in school made cry and stuff like that, seeing somebody else cry didn't make me feel powerful. It's like, what's wrong with me that I'm bringing you to tears? Not powerful, maybe confused. Fear isn't the right word. I think it's the uncertainty of what happens next. So there's like a anxiety for how does this play out? Where do we go from here?
Okay. I don't know that I ever experienced you as feeling that way or coming across that way. But at some point, I was just like, is he like so evil and hidden that he is like a mastermind, whatever this is,
Right.
It's like, ooh, I'm really going to mess her up. But I do know that I was like, is he like that? It happens so often. And he said such hurtful things. It was like, how can he not actively try to be this way?
Right. Man, I definitely get that. Being raised by hurtful people, I think it becomes almost like a cultural language within my family. The culture of my family is such that we use language that's hurtful. So is it incidental to how I was raised, or is it intentional in like, oh, this will really get her? This will really get her is never my thinking. What I've seen and the conversations that I had been involved in, it was like, well, A equals B and B equals C, so we're at C, and that's where I say this thing.
And I don't want guys to hear that and think, oh, Jay's off the hook because he didn't intentionally do it. No, because he also didn't intentionally go like, how do I do it differently than what I've seen? How do I be the thing that I want people to be to me?
I have this conversation with guys too. We are all raised in different cultures. Even if you live next door to your wife, her entire childhood, her family, rules in the house, everything was a completely different culture. I need to change me to be better at interacting with your culture and recognizing that there are some things about my culture that are fundamentally screwed up.
Somebody might be out there going, well, Lori entered his culture too. He said he was entering my culture. He said he wanted a good relationship. He said he wanted to be loyal and faithful in his mind and heart. So he was trying to get there. I wasn't saying, yes, I'm okay with porn and marriage. Number 7, did you ever cry about my pain or only your own feelings?
Yeah, I don't think it was until the Big D Day that I began to recognize your hurt, the empathy, the hardness of heart, the lack of connection with you took time to come back. But I do think somewhere after that Big D Day that, yes, I was crying over your pain, not just my own.
I do know that I've seen it for sure after, like, we've gone round and round and round, and I've been trying to tell you, like, no, it's because it hurts. It hurts. After you kind of got over, okay, this makes me look bad, there was almost an immediate, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, but it wasn't scooping me up in my arms. It was a shame-filled thing. So, number 8, what story did you tell yourself to pretend my pain didn't exist?
The first thing that comes to mind is this is really not that big of a deal. I don't know why your reaction is so, quote unquote, extreme, was my belief at the time. Her reaction is totally normal. In fact, hers is probably on the less extreme end of some of the reactions we've heard about. Again, going back to that conversation of the invalidations with Matt Frey of, well, if you just had the right response to this, you wouldn't, if you just weren't so upset over this, it wouldn't be such a big deal. If you were more like other people, it wouldn't be that big of a problem. So I think that's kind of the story I told myself. It's not that big of a deal. Again, hard heart, trying to lessen my impact or make it not so much about me and how I'm behaving.
Did watching me cry make you want to stop, or did it make you want to just get better at hiding?
Majority of the time that I've seen you cry is after I've been caught. Like in the last 15 years, in my mind, I think we've had more of those. But having seen how much emotional response prior to 2006, yeah, I think it made me want to not get caught. We had this conversation a couple of videos ago. I wanted to stop, but I also didn't want to get caught. I wanted it all to go away in a way that nobody ever found out.
See, yeah.
But I think the driver was to not get caught.
I think for a big majority of it, well, half of our marriage anyway, the first 15 years, it was, I just don't want to get caught. And if you find out about it, I just want you to shut up about it. And then afterwards, I think you did get more serious about quitting. Number 10, did you ever feel bad about not feeling bad when I cried? Or did it even occur to you that you should be feeling bad?
I think I felt bad when you cried, but I can't say that I always felt bad for you, right? It probably didn't always dawn on me that she's in pain, she's feeling betrayed, let down, all those things. It's more, I feel bad that we're in this mess again because of something I've done. It was never clear to me that feel bad for the pain that she's in as a result, instead of just, no, I'm feeling bad because we're back in a mess that I caused. I think my heart is a lot less hard than it used to be. That took time after 2010, but I think now I hurt for you.
What I heard you say before was you were upset that you did something wrong, not necessarily that you did something wrong to me.
Right.
Yeah. And that really tracks, because there were so many times where I'd be upset and he'd be like, you're saying I'm doing something wrong? And I'm like, yes, thank you. If you care about that, then think about doing something different, something more healthy. What was the hardest part of seeing me cry? The emotion, the eye contact, or the possible consequences? I think I know the answer. I'm going to circle it right here.
Man, seeing you cry, I think it was the emotion. I think there was a lot of kind of that overwhelm of how do I, because you talked about scooping you up in my arms, and I'm like, I don't know if I should touch her or not, because in a way that's controlling what she's feeling, or trying to, if I hug her, then, that.
She might claw my eyes out.
Yeah. I'm bringing her closer. It was that whole freeze of, I know I did something wrong and she's in pain. It's a situation that I guess I didn't really have the means to address in the moment. I think immediately afterward, it becomes the consequence.
That's what I thought. I would have, because that's what I circled. So you're saying that the emotion was harder to take than the potential consequences, because you talked a lot about, what does this mean? Is she going to leave me this time?
Right.
And that kept you lying.
Right.
But you're now saying that in the moment, the emotion.
Yeah, in the moment, it was the emotion.
Okay.
But after, it's the aftermath. What is the aftermath of all that emotion?
Okay. Last one, number 12. How did you interpret my silence compared to my sobbing? Like, is it true that I stopped crying and it scared you more?
Yes, I think when you're crying, there's emotion. You're still feeling something. As bad as it feels, at least you're feeling something from me. But when you go to silence, it's that moment of, I've made a decision and I've gone to indifference.
Yes.
And when I've gone to indifference, when I've gone to I'm done with you feeling from that indifference. That's when I was like, oh, bleep. Things just have gotten.
They've crossed over.
Yeah.
I like how you use that word indifference because I've heard it before. The opposite of love is not hate. The opposite of love is indifference. And I know the last few breakdowns, there have been times in those breakdowns where we did get separate and I was just like, I'm done. I do not care about you. I don't want to spend any time with you. It was then that I saw a different response. I think he got it. No longer was I coming down within a certain amount of time going, okay, let's talk about this. It was like, nope, you need to learn on your own. You need to widen your support network. You need to get some good help because I'm done teaching you. And so that was my way of leaving him.
Yeah.
But anyway, so for the viewers, the questions are, what did your husband's usual reaction reveal to you? Or what do you wish he understood about your tears? And for addicts, is it possible that you could see your wife's tears as pain and not as a sign that you're worthless? Can you commit to trying that on as a possibility? This is more about how your actions have impacted her and less about who you are as a person. Next time we will cover, could Jay see his heart harden over time? Well, we'll see you guys later.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.